Now, I usually gonna say thing to say about making this videos like so quickly Valley to make this. And if everyone is seeing this video in the comment section, whatever you do, guys, is please do not going after some user which is in the mention this video, because I don't want anyone to go after some of the fans to go after them, because I don't usually say. And I'm really gonna say about for I had to say. It's about like this dude just always going to just overreaction about this Warner Brothers thing shutting down things during his posts and everything else every day. And you guessed is mostly gonna say this user's name was Walter Salmon Cartoon Crossover. If you didn't know who his Walter is, Walter Salmon was a YouTuber who makes some animation with animate with any crossover or slideshow for the anniversary. When I actually know him, when he actually made the 10th anniversary goes to the Wonder Yonder back in 2 years ago. And I usually know he posts about news about every from what's going on there. So mostly I was gonna say about for making this video, making shortly to talk about what is going on with Walter Salmon, because I'm really gonna say about filtering to say about mostly making this, but this is like kind of like getting me disappointed for what he said. Sometime when I saw Walter post and every time he said about because that Warner Brothers is gonna be shutting down, or even all these shows and movies are getting shells by Warner Brothers, or maybe any networks like the CDN's networks or even Cartoon Network shutting down. However, this is actually not even that true after he actually keep making this post about the Warner Brothers shutting down. But actually, not to mention, he also put in the rest in peace Warner Brothers to 1923 to all the way to 2026. Which is the dumbest things, and you put it into the comment station to believe that your fans to know about the Warner Brothers is gone or maybe shutting down. And yes, we already know about his fan base already just followed his footsteps and talk about mostly the hashtags. Not even though they wanted to kill the CEO, which is Dave the Z, who is the Warner Brothers guy mostly. And yes, we already know he's the worst and mostly that Cartoon Network female president, which I'm not gonna say her name, which is, she's kind of even though the worst in him, okay? But mostly. And speaking about those hashtags, they usually keep repeating every time about in the comment section, save Warner Brothers or save something else like that. Right after, during Walter's post about this. And it's getting me sick and tired of it. I usually will never do these hashtags. Never ever. Because they just give me a headache a lot. And I know these guys are getting worried about this. What's going to happen to Warner Brothers if these three companies, Comcast or maybe Netflix and Paramount, we're going to buy something else. Yeah, but mostly it's just how Disney brought Fox. Everything was not the same different. Disney already shut down Blue Skies in 2021. It's gonna get me so sad about what happened since the shutdown. But at least Anoma got saved and been sent by Netflix, which is really good. And mostly people are getting worried about what's gonna happen to Warner Brothers. If Comcast or even Paramount or Netflix gonna buy, everybody thinks about it's going to be shutting down or something else. But it's not going to happen if whatever they could buy, that means they could be save Warner Brothers. Or maybe not. If they don't, because people are just going to get panicked or just going to overreacting about this shutting down or maybe anything else about this. And Walter's post, he keeps saying about because of this, I'm going to say this. So Warner Bros. Will be death date which has delayed to December. It will be a nightmare before Christmas, for the people. That will be all about to lose their jobs, the fans, and will lose their hopes, dreams, ideas, and plans of more than Warner Bros. In the future. Hashtag say Warner Bros. Cancel the bid for Warner Bros. Leave Warner Bros. Alone. Stay away from Warner Bros. Don't let the Warner Brothers come to the end. Those hashtags are usually kills me. I don't know why, because he keeps saying that, but all the times. But this is like, this is getting too much for him. And we already know he is already 25 years old, and mostly he keeps going posts about the Warner Brothers shutting down, or rest in peace Warner Brothers, or everything he said about like any stuff or any networks getting shut down, or any shows from movies and shows from Warner Brothers. Walter, do me a favor. As a autism and ADHD person, I know you're getting worried about being Warner Brothers getting shut down. Even your fans are getting worried and getting followers about mostly to say about that's Warner Brothers getting shut down. If the buyer's gonna get a buyer, whatever they have to choose, whatever they want. Like Disney choose Fox to choose Fox back in like 2019, which is like back in like 6 years ago since they finally buy it. And we already know that Warner Brothers could be by like if whatever they pick, Paramount, Comcast, or maybe just Netflix. Like if they pick something, it's not gonna be the end of the world. It's because you keep overreacting like this, like oh, it's gonna be shutting down, like watch it gonna shut down Cartoon Network or CNN or something else. It's gonna be Dave's fault for reason. Like I don't like Dave Z at all, because even though he was a terrible CEO, like he did like mostly like what he actually done this for the HBO Max for removing all the Cartoon Network. And mostly, you guys are getting worried and getting panicked or getting mad about this. Like, even though Dave Z is getting sucked these days, but mostly he's a terrible CEO. Like I said. And you usually keep repeating over and over and over the time. And we have enough of you. From over your YouTube channel, from your Twitter accounts. And let's be honest, not to even mention, you also about the Zootopia 2 was the time to watch the cringe Zootopia 2. And however, when you got back, you actually give this to 8 to 10. What the fuck are you doing right now, Walter? Firstly, you calling the Zootopia 2 cringe, and when you got back, you actually give us this movie 8 to 10. And not to even you say about the Zootopia. Like, given, like, we are entering the mid-cringe area for Disney. This is not right, Walter. I don't know what you're doing right now, but mostly, this is not even, we just entering this era. Because, however, like, we already know, because Disney has struggle issues between, from originals movies to the new ones, the sequels. Like, whatever, the original was bad, or okay, or good. Or maybe the sequels will be good. But I don't know what you're doing, Watcher. But mostly, you call it the Zootopia 2 cringe. And not even your Twitter account mostly has... I'm not going to say this because... I'm not going to say that thing because I don't want YouTube to be take down this screenshot. But it was pretty weird. But whatever you have Twitter, just look at his account. But mostly, it's so weird and disturbing for all this stuff from Twitter, but mostly I just don't like the way, because I don't use Twitter, but mostly not even he's just like reblog some eating photos from all the girls from fan arts, and even like from the real life thing, like deserving women's for mostly you want to know. But it was weird and disgusting for Walter, because I know he's 25, but I don't want all these minors to go over his Twitter account, and I just don't want him just don't follow his account, because it was weird to see all this image, all this weird fan art and weird girls stuff on his Twitter. Right now, I usually like feeling I haven't enough about this dude. Like, even since I know him a lot, mostly since he actually did mostly made all the slideshows and even made some crossover stuff. But now, potentially, he's still going overreacting about this Warner Brothers being shutting down. Even his followers still keep going up, but mostly, I just have enough of this dude, mostly. And if he actually keeps acting like this, I actually had no choice, but mostly I had to cut ties with him once for all, because if he keeps going again, acting like this, even his followers are like this, I'm just, like, still, because I'm still making this video up today, but, and if Walter is gonna see this video about this, he's gonna call me out like, oh, that's not it, like, oh my god, no, you just liar. I don't know why, because it's my choice, because I had to make this video, because you keep repeating over the time from your Twitter and even your YouTube. You're 25 years old, Walter. You need to grow up. You need to stop talking about any stuff you're talking about this. And yeah, because I already know, because you're just, I don't know. I don't know why you keep acting like this, but mostly even your followers still going. But yeah, but I don't want your fans going after me, because I have rights to make this video, but you need to grow up and watch her. You need to stop. You need to stop, okay? You're 25 years old, you're an adult, and you just keep repeating it all over again. All of these posts about the Warner Brothers shut down. But it's not even to cost the end of the world, because if Warner Brothers is gonna pick any one studios to buy, it's not gonna be anything shutting down. It's not gonna anything about Netflix getting shut down. Many more, nothing's gonna happen. It's gonna be just fine, because it's just whatever they pick once, it's just gonna be just fine. Like Disney already bought from Fox back in 2019. They usually shut down Blue Skies, and it's kind of like get me disappointed back then. And even now, because even today, when that Warner Bros. Is gonna choose only one buyer to pick one, it's not gonna cost like an end of the world, and you be worried about about Warner Bros. Gonna shutting down because if they need to get buy or something else. It's gonna be just fine, Walter. It's just gonna be fine, because if Warner Bros. Is gonna pick only just one, just everything else, it's just gonna be fine. None of the movies gonna be shut down, or even shows, or even canceled, or probably it's just not the cost of death you put in your posts. Not even you put and said that Zootopia 2 was like watching like the cringe, and you said about that we entered the post cringe era about Disney, and even that disturbing image that you reblogging on your Twitter account, which is really weird and disturbing for your not safe for your account, for your Twitter. So do me a favor, Walter. Just please get some help. Get some help and stop overreacting about this. It's not going to cost an end of the world for all these Warner Brothers getting shutting down. And even your followers are still just keep repeating all the time. And if you keep saying that once, I have no choice to say this again, because I still want to cut ties with you. I'm sorry, but it's my choice. But it's time to grow up, Walter. It's time to grow up.